you own your voice. So if your voice is owned by you and somebody steals it, can you sue them? So there is something in place right now that a good attorney,
Lawsuits. Yeah.
yeah, a good attorney could argue that they're in violation of that rule and sue. But there needs to be an actual law, and this has actually been before Congress, this issue, to really get this into the books, the law, and say, hey, you know what? You can't steal certain things that are, copywritten, for one, and that's the gray area. Is your voice copywritten by you? That's the gray area. If it is, it's illegal for somebody to steal it, and there has to be a law that says that. So legally, that's kind of what's going on, but it's a broad topic. I mean, a couple weeks ago, 60 Minutes did a story on this where they said the different areas that AI is kind of taking over, but it's fascinating and it's helpful in some areas. And I'll give you some examples real quick. They said an architect could basically say to AI, give me the blueprints for the Taj Mahal, create the Taj Mahal blueprints, and boom, AI would be able to create the Taj Mahal blueprints. So it's helpful to some people that work in, say, architecture. For voiceover, it may be helpful. And there's a new AI company out there. It's called Revoicer.com. Revoicer.com. They're the first AI voiceover company that added emotion to the AI voice. So they took voice, they started to develop this with AI, and they added emotion to it. And you can actually, it's a drop-down menu, and you can pick the emotion that you want the voice to read. And it's pretty darn good. I listened to it the other day. It's pretty darn good. So something like that in the future may be helpful for audiobooks. If you're reading this, 50 chapter book and you don't want to read it, there is the option for AI, down the road, potentially. E-learning, if you're doing long form narration, pharmaceutical company narration that's just so complex, you could potentially use AI as it gets better. One of the things that they're doing, like a company like Revoicer.com, is they're creating an area where the voice actor or the hiring manager can pronounce the words that are going to be difficult, so the computer gets them correctly. So you're going to feed that AI some of the like if it's pharmaceutical narration, that AI is not going to be able to pronounce names of medications and illnesses, et cetera. So you're going to feed that into the AI, and it's going to pronounce those names correctly for you. So it's getting really advanced. And when you check out that website, for example, it's pretty inexpensive for somebody to sign up and purchase the AI opportunities that are out there right now. So, it's NAVA protecting your voice so your voice can't end up on something like that. It's the law. Congress needs to adopt something with domicile rule where you own your voice and nobody can steal your voice. And it's in the law, not on a state issue. It's got to be a national law. So you can't just say, oh, well, it's illegal in California, but it's legal over here in New York. So it's got to be a national law that prohibits this. But yeah, it's just fascinating. But as I gave you those examples, I mean, it can be beneficial to those areas. If you don't have, you don't want to record, an audiobook that's 50 plus chapters, you could use this. Then the issue is voice cloning, where your voice is cloned. And you could sell, and this is, by the way, this is what voices.com is doing. So voices.ai is voices.com's AI company. They created voices.ai, which is a voice cloning company. And what they want to do on voices.ai, if I understand it correctly, David Ciccarelli, who's the CEO of the company, has said what he wants to do is he wants to be able to take voices from voices.com, from your profile on voices.com, clone it, and have it available for purchase as an AI on voices.ai. So let's say you don't want to narrate that long audiobook, but you already have your voice in the system through voice cloning. Potentially somebody could hire your voice clone voice to narrate the audiobook, and it would sound like you in your voice because your voice has now been cloned. So it's amazing the stuff that's out there, the applications that are out there. It's just fascinating stuff, but it will continue to grow. And with that, organizations like NAVA and organizations that are out there, the union, SAG-AFTRA, for example, is another one. These are bodies that can actually lobby lawmakers to make a change. And that's really what has to happen. These bodies have to really lobby the lawmakers to make a change. And when they can do that, change will happen. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.